Deuteronomy 15, the year of release and a generous heart. Moses told Israel that at the end of every 7 years, there was to be a year of release. Every creditor was to release what he had lent to his neighbor and not exact it, because the Lord's time of release had been proclaimed. They could collect from a foreigner, but not from their own brother. Moses said that there would be no poor among them if they carefully obeyed the Lord and kept his commandments, for the Lord would bless them greatly in the land he was giving them. They would lend to many nations but borrow from none, and they would rule over many nations but none would rule over them. But Moses also warned that the poor would never cease from the land, and so Israel was commanded to open their hand wide to their brother, to the needy and the poor in their land. They were not to harden their hearts or shut their hand when they saw a poor brother, even when the year of release was near. They were to give freely and not begrudgingly, because the Lord would bless them in all their work. If a Hebrew brother or sister sold themselves into service, they were to serve 6 years and then go free in the 7th year. When they were released, Israel was not to send them away empty-handed, but to supply them generously from their flocks, threshing floor, and winepress. This was to remind them that they had been slaves in Egypt, and the Lord had redeemed them. If a servant chose to remain because he loved his master and household, then his ear was to be pierced, and he would remain a servant for life. The same applied to female servants. Moses also reminded Israel that the firstborn males of their herds and flocks belonged to the Lord. They were not to work the firstborn ox or shear the firstborn sheep, but to eat them before the Lord year by year in the place he chose. If the firstborn had any defect, they were not to offer it to the Lord, but could eat it within their towns, whether clean or unclean. They were not to eat the blood, but pour it out on the ground like water. Next comes Deuteronomy 16, where Moses speaks about the appointed feasts and remembering the Lord's acts of salvation.